companies gratis copies. Oh no. So the idea is that the school directs its students down the path of permanent dependence, and they can pull the rest of society with them into dependence. It's like giving the school gratis needles full of addictive drugs to inject into their students, saying the first dose is gratis. How can you refuse? Well, the school must refuse. The school would reject the drugs, whether they're gratis or not, and it must reject the proprietary software, whether gratis or not, because schools and other educational activities have a social mission. Their mission is to educate good citizens of a strong, capable, independent, cooperating, and free society. In the computing field, that means teaching people to be good users of free software. And never teach proprietary software, because teaching dependence goes against the social mission. But there's a deeper reason for the education of the best programmers. Some people are natural-born programmers. At the age of 10 to 13, they are fascinated by computing and they want to learn how everything works. But when these kids ask the teacher, how does it do this? If the program is proprietary, the teacher can only respond, I'm sorry, it's a secret we can't find out. So education is not allowed. If you leave now, you are missing the best part in about 4 minutes, the funniest part. It's a real shame if you miss it.
They're Microsoft agents.
Ah, well, the last thing they'd ever want to do is laugh. So, with proprietary software, education is forbidden. Proprietary programs are the enemy of the spirit of education, so they must never be tolerated in an educational activity. But if the program is free, the teacher can explain what he knows, then say, here's a copy of the source code, read it and you'll understand everything. And those kids will read it because they're fascinated and they yearn to understand. And then the teacher can say, if you come across any point that you can't figure out by yourself, show it to me and we'll figure it out together. That gives our natural-born programmers the chance to learn a very important lesson. That part of the code is not clear. You shouldn't write it that way. And that's what they need to learn. How do these natural-born programmers develop into good programmers? What does it mean to be a good programmer? It means writing code that other people can understand. In order to learn that, you have to learn to recognize what people can understand. The way you learn to write good, clear code is by reading lots of code and writing lots of code. Only free software offers the chance to read lots of code of large programs people really use. And then you have to write lots of code. You have to write code in large programs. In order to do that, you have to start small, which does not mean writing small programs. That's not even starting to confront the difficulties of large programs. To start small means writing small changes in existing large programs. Only free software gives you the chance to write first small changes, then large changes in existing large programs. And every school can offer students the opportunity to learn this, but only if they are free software schools. But there's an even deeper reason for moral education, education in citizenship. Schools must do more than teach facts and skills. They must teach the spirit of goodwill, the habit of helping other people. Thus, every class must have the following rule. Students, if you bring software to class, you may not keep it for yourself. You must share copies with everyone in the class that wants them, including the source code in case someone here wants to learn. Because this class is a place where we share our knowledge. So, bringing proprietary software to class is not permitted. The school must set a good example by following its own rule. It must bring only free software to class and share copies with everyone in the class. Those of you who have a connection with educational activities, it's your duty to pressure to convert them to free software and never give up. Always present this as an ethical issue. If someone else presents purely practical reasons not to do this, you must say, yes, that would appear to work, but it does the wrong thing. We have to do an ethical education, not just one that seems to be convenient. And keep bringing it up in a way that other people will see. Try to find more allies among the students, the teachers, the staff, and the parents. So, for more information about free software, look at GNU.org. For more information about the Free Software Foundation, including resources and political campaign activities, and if you wish to join the Free Software Foundation, see fsf.org. There is also the Free Software Foundation Latin America at fsfla.org. Please visit these sites and please help our activities. Freedom is up to you. Now it's time for me to present my other identity. I am Saint Ignatius of the Church of Emacs. I bless your computer, my child. Emacs started out as a program, an extensible text editor that I wrote, which became a way of life for many users as it was extended so much they could do all their computing inside Emacs. And then it became a church with the launch of the news group alt.religion.emacs that you might be amused to visit. In the Church of Emacs, we have no services, only software. We have a great schism between several rival versions of Emacs. And we also have saints, but fortunately no gods. Instead of gods, we adore the one true editor, Emacs. To be a member of the Church of Emacs, you must pronounce the confession of the faith. You must say, there is no system but GNU, and Linux is one of its kernels. Then, if you become a true expert, you can celebrate that with our ceremony, the Fubar Mitzvah, in which you chant part of our sacred scriptures, that is, the system source code. We also have the cult of the Virgin of Emacs. That refers to anyone who has never used Emacs. And according to the Church of Emacs, offering the Virgin the opportunity to lose Emacs virginity is a blessed act. We also have the Emacs pilgrimage, which consists of invoking all the commands of Emacs in alphabetical order. No one knows what that would do. There is a Tibetan sect that believes that it's sufficient to execute them all under program control, under a script. But the mainstream church holds that in order to get spiritual merit from this pilgrimage, you have to type the commands by hand. The Church of Emacs has certain advantages compared with other churches I won't mention. For instance, to be a saint in the Church of Emacs does not require celibacy. So if you have been searching for a church to be saintly in, you might consider ours. But it does require living a life of moral purity. You must exorcise whatever evil proprietary operating systems have possessed computers under your control.